Welcome back to SCSU TV News, and thank you for joining us this evening.
On this week's show, we'll discuss Southern's response to the Sandy Hook tragedy, Relay for Life kickoff, and a visit from former NBA player.
At the end of last semester, on December 14th, a 20-year-old man took the lives of 20 children and 7 adults at Sandy Hook Elementary School in Newtown. Since then, Southern students have been looking for ways to help the Newtown community after such a horrendous tragedy. Our very own Tom Fournette visited an open forum on campus, which discussed a plan to react.
In response to the December 14th tragedy at Sandy Hook Elementary School, Southern has held an open forum to discuss a plan to help Newtown in their time of need. Dr. Peter Triano, Vice President of Student Affairs, gathered members of the campus community for the discussion. Faculty, staff, and even students were invited to attend through an email that went out to the entire campus. Students, faculty, and staff gave their ideas on how to respond. Professor Michael Rusko had this to say.
I thought it would probably be appropriate to have some sort of physical memorial on campus, whether it be a statue, a group of trees, as was discussed in the discussion, possibly a space where people could go to.
Attendees discussed ways Southern can respond after the tragic day that took 20 children and members of our community as well. Teacher Victoria Soto, who was among one of the heroic victims, was currently taking graduate courses at Southern. Other ideas discussed include scholarships to students from Newtown, community service, and even counseling services for students and teachers here on campus.
I feel very deeply that we need to stay connected to this as much as we possibly can to offer our support in order to resolve these problems.
After hearing many thoughts and opinions, there will be further discussions in the upcoming weeks to solidify a plan. Reporting at Southern, I'm Tom Fournette.
On January 30th, the SCSU community celebrated the legacy and the life of the late civil rights leader, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. The celebration brought together through dance, song, and the written word. And for more details, here is SCSU TV's Mark LaFaro.
The SCSU community came together for its annual celebration to remember Dr. King's message of unity. There were speakers from SCSU and the surrounding community, including University President Mary Papazian and Hamden Mayor Scott Jackson.
He gave us hope and courage, and he showed us the way to a better America.
Dr. King said, "The arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice."
Mayor Jackson believed that Dr. King would have wanted everyone to come together. The Steppin' Up drill team and SPDC also performed.
We're well into the spring semester, which means planning for this year's Relay for Life has already begun. Colleges Against Cancer held their annual Relay kickoff in the ballroom on February 7th, and members of CAC held a glow stick vigil in honor of those who have lost their fight to cancer. To lighten the mood, there were games and prizes played by all those who attended. This year's Relay will take place at Jess Dow Field on Friday, April 20th, and will last until Saturday morning.
Recycle Mania is an 8-week competition among universities around the country to see who can recycle the most waste. Southern has competed in Recycle Mania for 3 years. It began February 3rd and will continue until March 30th. Southern has added a competition between residence halls, awarding a prize to the greenest building on the campus. For more information, visit southernct.edu/recycling.
On February 5th, former NBA player and member of the Boston Celtics, Chris Herron, arrived at Southern and spoke to an audience at the Lyman Center about his 14-year-long road of drug abuse and eventual recovery. After the inspiring discussion, our own Tom Fournette met up with Mr. Herron for an exclusive interview.
All right, Chris, what was the most difficult moment of your drug addiction?
The most difficult moment of my drug addiction was probably the day that turned me around when I came home for the birth of my son and relapsed shortly after.
To watch the full interview, visit youtube.com/SouthernCT.
The men and women's basketball teams had a doubleheader against Pace University last week. The women were unsuccessful in the end after starting off the game on the bad end of a 7-0 run. They tied the game at the end of the half, but couldn't compete with the offense, falling 65-51.
The men's team started off on the right foot with a strong effort from freshman Deshaun Murphy, who had 10 points in the first half. Pace brought the game closer in the second half, but the Owls were too strong offensively. Tylon Smith finished the game with 13 points and 10 rebounds in the effort, at the Owls won 78-64.
That's all we have for this week's show. Thank you for joining us at SUSU TV.
And don't forget to like our Facebook page and to follow us on Twitter to stay updated with campus events and news. Have a nice day. Yay!